Maybe I should just film the whole video now. She stole my dog. She's driving without a license, has my dog. Like, I'm like, you're moving out tomorrow. You're expecting to live rent-free for 6 days. Hi, and welcome back to Veggies by EOS. This is part 2 to my horror roommate story. And if you didn't see part 1, you should really watch that because it explains everything that happened on days 1 through 4 of my roommate living with me. And today is going to be days 5 and 6. And you're probably wondering, wow, how are you going to make a video on just 2 days of a girl living there? And you will see. And I don't know how long this video is going to be, but obviously if you're watching it, you can already look and see it's probably going to be pretty long. And yes, she did that much stuff over the course of 2 days. If you really don't want to watch part 1, long story short, in 4 days, she trashed my house, didn't listen to me, left my doors unlocked, and I live in an unsafe neighborhood, almost killed my dog. I think that's about it. So, anyway, day 5 is Friday because this all started at the beginning of the week, so by day 5, it is now Friday. If you watched part 1, you would know by now I'm livid. Like, I want this girl out of my house. At this point, I'm already like, okay, she's probably gonna have to move out by the end of the month. Like, I don't think I can take living with her. And guess what happens? I get home from school on Friday, so again, this is day 5, and she's literally parked in my backyard. She drove through my entire backyard. If you were to see my backyard, it is very clear there's cement for parking. There's grass. It should be obvious to park in the cement. But no, every single day she had been driving like up into the grass a little bit, like half of her car was in the grass, but no, on Friday, just she drove through the entire backyard. I'm surprised she didn't even hit the patio. Like, maybe she did hit the patio because she was basically on top of it. It was just, like, I saw that and I was like, this chick's moving out. And then I go into my house and okay, I have 2 back doors. One lets you in the laundry room and one lets you in my house. The one to let you in the laundry room was just open. It was unlocked and open. The other one was at least locked, so I was very glad about that. But still, like, I shouldn't have to worry about something happening to my laundry room or someone stealing stuff from my laundry room or, you know, like I said, I live in a sketchy neighborhood. Who knows what happens in my laundry room? So at this point I had told her probably 5 times, hey, you need to lock the doors and close the doors. Like I said, she didn't even close it. Anyway, I come inside and there's just food on the stove, which in my last video, I told her you cannot put food on the stove. Like, my dog will get it and possibly turn the stove on because she's done that before. So I was just like, between the car, the door being open, and food on the stove, and I think there was more dishes. Oh no, get this. It wasn't even just that. I come to my living room, look at my table. This was after I told her she can't use my food. My cereal and my milk were in a bowl and she didn't even eat all of it. It was just my bowl with my milk, my cereal, just sitting on the table, which was kind of near the edge of the table, so plus Kaya could have knocked it over and just broke the bowl. She didn't even try to hide it. She didn't even bother trying to hide the fact that she was using my food after I told her, and that wasn't the only thing. She used a bunch more of my food after I told her stop using my food. Like, she kept using my food, and she'd make it obvious because she'd leave it out like that. Between food on the stove, the car, the door open, literally my cereal and milk in a bowl just left there, I was like, I'm going up to her right now and I'm telling her you're moving out at the end of the month. And so that's exactly what I did. I marched on up there. She was like taking a nap, so she wasn't super coherent. And I was just so pissed off. I was like, I'm telling her right now. Plus, this whole time, I guess I didn't really specify this in the last video, but in the last video I read a bunch of text messages that I sent to her, and she never responded to literally any of those text messages. The reason why I was texting her instead of telling her in person was because she wasn't home when I was. So I went up there, I was like, if she's actually home, I need to talk to her in person, and I need to just flat out tell her, hey, first of all, did you get my text messages from Wednesday because you never responded? Second of all, you're moving out at the end of the month. So that's basically all I told her, like, hey, did you get my text messages? So I talked to her about all this stuff in the text messages that I could remember. And then I basically just told her, I literally just told her, you have to move out by the end of the month. I was like, this is ridiculous. This has gone way too far. You gotta move out. And then I took Kaya for a walk. And then while I'm on the walk, like I said, she was kind of half asleep, so not super coherent. That's how she always was. She was always either not home, Kaya's barking. She was always either not home, cooking, or sleeping. Like there was no in between. It was just those three things. So even though she was sleeping and not super coherent, I had a feeling that if I walked my dog and came back, that she either wasn't going to be there or just still sleeping. So what's the difference? So that's why I told her all of that while she wasn't super coherent, just because I didn't know if I'd get the chance to talk to her while she was coherent, which I did not. So I'm glad I told her at the time. So yeah, I told all of her that stuff. She wasn't super coherent because she was taking a nap. I don't know why you're taking a nap every single day. She honestly didn't do anything other than make food, make a mess, and hang out with guys. Anyway, I'm on a walk with my dog, and I was like, you know what, I'm also gonna text her, because since she wasn't super coherent, maybe just seeing it in a text, like, well, maybe she's a little bit more awake by now, maybe that'll clear things up. And when I take my dog for walks, they're 30 minutes. It's not like I was going out for 2 minutes and was gonna come right back in. So I go out for the walk and decide to construct a message to her. Oh, I totally forgot about this. This video is going to be so unorganized. I am so sorry. But Friday morning, so before any of this other stuff happened, Friday morning I told her, hey, you left my toilet running, which is honestly not a big deal, but that just, I know that she used my toilet. And upstairs she has a toilet, sink, and shower, so there's no reason for her to go in my bathroom at all whatsoever. I did originally tell her that since my shower is a lot nicer looking than hers, that she could shower in my bathroom, but that was all I said. I said nothing else about using any of my stuff or about using anything else in the bathroom. So in my text to her, I said, you left my toilet running, but in general, can you just use your bathroom instead for everything? I know I originally mentioned to you that you could use my shower, but that was before you used a bunch of my stuff and I didn't realize how messy you were. So since you have everything you need in your bathroom, can you just use your bathroom from now on? I also put your squash in the fridge. Again, you can't leave stuff on the stove because Kaya will eat it. So that was the second time I told her about leaving stuff on the stove, and there was more stuff on the stove when I came home from work later on that day. Who leaves food just on the stove overnight? Like, it wasn't even covered. She just had squash, or was it covered? No, I don't think it was. She just had squash like sitting there just on the stove. So going back to my walk with my dog, not very long, but I said I'm on a walk now, but I have a friend coming over later. Can you please clean all of your messes before he comes over? Which my friend didn't end up coming over. But still, like, you know, she didn't know that. So she should have cleaned all of her messes before my friend came over. What does she do? Instead of cleaning all of her messes before my friend comes over, she leaves. I literally get back from my half-hour long walk and she's just gone. And I was like, okay, that's nice. Like, you could have cleaned something. She literally didn't clean a single thing. Just to give you some perspective of what I was doing, I ended up going to the gym with my sister. Like I said, my friend didn't end up coming over. It was actually going to be a second date with a guy that I really liked. So I had like the worst week ever with this roommate, but the whole week I was looking forward to seeing this guy on a second date. Like, the first date went awesome. And then around 5 o'clock on Friday, he canceled. So I was like, that's wonderful. But it ended up being fine. Like, I went to the gym with my sister and then we got dinner after. So I still ended up having a good Friday night until I got home. And my sister knew what was going on, so she was like, you know what, I'm gonna come home with you just to make sure everything's good. And I mean, just to hang out a little bit longer, but she also wanted to make sure like I was okay, just because at this point she's like, your roommate's crazy, like she needs to move out tomorrow. And I really apologize that this is so like out of order and unorganized. Just too much stuff happened. I can't remember it all in order. So after I told her that she needed to move out by the end of the month, you know, and then I went for the walk with my dog, I come home, nothing is cleaned after I told her to clean, and at this point she's gone. I went up to her room to look for her. It wasn't to snoop, like it was to go look for her to talk to her again, so I was gonna tell her, hey, did you get my text? I'm serious, you have to clean, I have a friend coming over. So I went up to her room, she was gone. That's when I noticed she was gone. But guess what I found when I went up there? an entire bag of grapes on the ground. And if you don't know this, if you're not a dog person, you probably don't know this, but grapes are very poisonous to dogs. And not only was it 1 or 2 grapes, it was an entire bag. And literally, if my dog ate an entire bag of grapes, she probably would have died. And I'm so glad she didn't, because I'm surprised she didn't. She loves eating any kind of food, so maybe she like instinctually knew that it was going to be poisonous to her. I don't know, but I'm so glad she didn't eat it. But that is time number 3 of how she almost killed my dog. Time number 1 and number 2 were in part 1 of the video. After I saw the grapes on the ground, that is when I said, nope, this girl's moving out tomorrow. She's moving out tomorrow. And I was gonna wait to tell her face to face, because that's like a big thing, like, hey, you're moving out tomorrow. And that's the point. Then me and my sister went to the gym, and I figured she'd be home by the time me and my sister got back from the gym. Finally, me and my sister get to my place, and her car's not in the back, so I'm like, okay, great, so she's still not home. I come in my house to look for my dog, because if you have a dog, the first thing that happens when you walk in the door, they're at the door greeting you. I walk in my door, my dog's not at the door greeting me, so I'm like, okay, she's probably asleep in her bed, because once in a while she'll still be asleep in her bed, but that's like very rarely. So I come in here in this room, look in her bed, which she's in there right now. Let me get some footage of this, because it's really cute. So I come to see if she's just sleeping in her bed, just hanging out, and she's not in her bed. And then I run to my room, she's not in my room. I run upstairs, she's not upstairs. So, and this all happened within like 30 seconds. I ran throughout my entire house to look for her. My dog is gone. And then I get a text from my sister because I came in the back and my sister parked out in front. 30 seconds of me freaking out, having a heart attack, because I think my dog is gone. I don't think my dog is gone. She's gone. I get a text from my sister. It says, there's a guy on your front porch. And I was like, what do you mean there's a guy on my front porch? So I open up my front door. There's a guy on my front porch. And I was just like, oh, great. I was like, are you here for Zoe? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, she's not here. And he was like, okay, I've just been waiting for a while. And I was like, well, were you supposed to hang out? And he was like, yeah, she told me to meet me here a while ago. And I was like, well, she has my dog right now, and I don't know where she's at, but she better be back soon. And then he asked if he can use the bathroom, which I was like, at this point, I don't even care. So much stuff had been happening. I just let a random guy into my house to use my bathroom. He ended up being a cool guy, thankfully, but you never know. He could have been a total creep. So, but my sister was over, that's why I let him in. Like, if it was just me, I probably wouldn't have let him in, but my sister was with me, so it was me, this guy, which let's just call him boyfriend number 2, because why not? So me, boyfriend number 2, and my sister. And we both were calling and texting Zoe because he's trying to hang out with her. I'm trying to figure out where my dog is. And then finally she texts me back. She finally responds and she says, hey, sorry, I took her on a ride with me to pick up some stuff. Need anything from Target? And it's like, at this point, you've used so much of my stuff. You shouldn't even ask if I need anything from Target. You should buy all the stuff that you used that was mine and replace it. Which, did she do that? No. She didn't. My response was, can you bring her back right now, please? And she says, yup, sorry, I thought you said it was fine to take her on walks and rides. Which, that one time when she asked about the ice cream, I said that was fine. But, I don't know, let me know, comment below your opinion on that text message. That would have been from part 1 of the video, so you would have to go back and watch that. But I don't think I implied that you can take my dog wherever you want, whenever you want. I think that implied, like, yeah, you can take my dog for ice cream right now. And she thought that I meant she can take her wherever. I also said that leaving her in the car while you're in Target is technically illegal. It isn't a huge deal, but still. Which, the weather was nice that day, and it is technically illegal in the state I live in, though, to leave a dog alone in a car. So it's like, what you did is technically illegal, it's not that big of a deal. The thing that was a big deal is that, like, I never gave her permission to just take my dog wherever she wanted, whenever she wanted. So, but at this point, I already knew that I wanted her to move out tomorrow, but then she took my dog, so now I really wanted her to move out tomorrow. This girl is crazy. I'm assuming she's a bad driver. Her license was in her stuff upstairs. I don't know if you can see that in that one clip from the first video, but literally, driving without a license, which I found out from her mom later on that she might have had 2 licenses, so maybe she was driving with a license. But to my knowledge at this point in time, she's driving without a license, has my dog. Like, I'm like, you're moving out tomorrow. About 10 minutes or so after that text, when she says she's coming back, you know, meanwhile, I'm standing here with my sister and then boyfriend number 2. I was telling boyfriend number 2 all this stuff about her. I was like, I don't know how good of friends you are with her, but this girl's crazy. Like, I told him like everything. I'm like, this girl trashed my house. I'm kicking her out tomorrow. He probably thought I was crazy, but I was telling him about how crazy she was. So she comes back, opens my front door, lets my dog in, and immediately starts leaving. And I was like, hey, wait. Come here real quick. And I was like, my exact words was, this SHIT has gone way too far. You're moving out tomorrow. And I expected her to like, you know, have some sort of conversation with me about it, but she was just like, oh, okay. And then she started running off, and I was like, well, okay better mean yes. But then as she started running off, I looked back at boyfriend number 2 and I was like, wait, aren't you guys supposed to hang out right now? Because she's leaving. And I was like, you better like go out there. And so he gets up, goes out my front door to run after her. And then my sister was like peeking her eyes out the window to see what happened and was trying to listen. So what my sister saw was the guy go up to her car, talk for like 10 seconds, and then walk away. And I was like, what? Because apparently someone else was in the car with her, which is probably boyfriend number 1. And then he comes back up to our house. Should we let him in? We're like, well, he's a lot more normal than my roommate, so let's just see what he has to say. So we just opened the door like to see what he had to say, and he was like, I just walked up to her car and there was another guy in there, and when I walked up to the car, she was like, can I help you? And she literally pretended that she didn't know him. This guy came, waited almost 45 minutes to hang out with her. I'm calling him boyfriend number 2. I don't know what he is, but I'm calling him that. He is boyfriend number 2, waited all this time to see her, and literally he drove from a city that's 20 minutes away. It's not like he lives down the block. He drove from a city 20 minutes away and waited 45 minutes to meet her to get a, can I help you? Do I know you? Are you kidding? So me and my sister felt so bad for him. We were like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And then he walked away, and that was the end of boyfriend number 2. So sad. I honestly felt really bad for him. Like, that's like the worst thing. Well, it's not the worst thing you can do, I guess. But that was awful. And plus the boyfriend, like, the guy literally came from inside of my house. So the boyfriend had to have been thinking like something was sketchy. Maybe he didn't realize that, but that's just a whole weird situation. So, okay, cool. You're cheating on your boyfriend. That's really cool. Kicking her out tomorrow. I will update you guys on if that actually happens. That's my dog. Guess what just happened? I just got home. My dog wasn't here. She stole my dog. Well, she took her to Target, but still. Like, I actually almost had a heart attack. Guys, I don't even know oh, that's my bag. Huh. I wondered where that went. That's nice. It's right there. None of my mess. Oh, that's my apple juice that she ate that I told her not to. That's my cereal that she ate that I told her not to. Guess where she left this? On the table where my dog could have eaten it, which, like, she's not gonna die from eating that. Speaking of dying from eating things, guess what she did leave on the ground for my dog to eat?
A bag of grapes.
This whole bag of grapes was left on the ground upstairs where you just were. I'm the one that put it in the fridge because maybe people who don't have dogs might not know this, but if you have a dog, you should know this. Dogs can die if they eat grapes, and especially a bag that big. She also left Advil on the ground, which I'm pretty sure a dog can die if they eat Advil. She ate all the garbage is not mine. She left all that garbage. All of the, like, that said my name on it. I had to flip that over. I was just saying, literally everything that's in here is my stuff. Well, actually, no, that's her blender, but the rest is my dishes. But guess who dirtied all of them? Her. She hasn't done a single dish since she's been here. This mess, which I don't even want to know what that is if we're being honest. Kind of a mess. Not even kind of a mess. This is disgusting. This was left here. Like, why? Why? I don't get it. I don't understand. Oh, there's random stuff over there, but I don't get it. This is lovely, a lovely stain that was made 4 days ago. Thankfully that's her blender. If she would have used mine and did this, I don't even want to know what I would have done. But that's her blender that's disgusting right there. That's my sister and my dog. Some random garbage. She's like using literally every single cup I have.
I wonder if she just does this for people.
Maybe I should just film the whole video now. If you think she comes back on day 5, she doesn't, which I didn't expect her to at this point. So I'll just go ahead and read you what I texted her at this point. Again, like I would have told her this in person, but she wasn't there to tell, so I had to text it instead. What I said: you haven't listened to a single thing I've asked of you, and you put my dog in danger multiple times. So I talked about how she left out weed, how she left out pills, left out grapes for her to eat. So yeah, like I said, you do need to move out tomorrow. I will do the math on how much to give you back for rent, and I can Venmo that. But any cleaning I need to do that was caused by you, I'm going to deduct $20 an hour for cleaning, so please make sure you clean so that I don't have to do that. I've already talked to the landlord about this, and he is going to be changing the locks once you move out. She asked about staying till Wednesday, which at this point, me and my sister are like, no, this girl's got to go. And my sister pointed out, like, you know, there's hotels, there's Airbnbs, you have a boyfriend. You apparently have 2 boyfriends, so go stay with one of them. You have a big car. Like, her car's big enough to hold all of her stuff, and she has more than one boyfriend, so I don't understand why she couldn't stay with them. And then here's the kicker. Also, I know your ex paid for all of February, so I'll move out once you give me all my money back. Thanks. So you're expecting to live rent-free for 6 days. I basically tried explaining to her that, like, yeah, technically my ex did pay for February, but that was assuming she would be here for, like, all 3 months and pay 3 months worth of rent, then, like, technically February would have been free. Like, that doesn't mean you can live here for free for the days he paid for. I'm not even gonna show you all this because I tried explaining to her in depth. And then I also mentioned, I guess I can show this one. I said, although if I find more things you've taken or eaten of mine, I'll charge you for those too because this is ridiculous. You've used like $15 worth of my stuff already. And then she said, you're being so petty, it's kind of pathetic. You told me your ex was taking care of this month and you never told me about paying in advance. So I'll move out once you give me all my money, minus that 15, I guess. Which, she used so much of my stuff. So I'm being petty because you used my oat milk, literally half of my food. You left out my cereal. You used my razor. You used my shaving cream. I don't even know what else. Oh, I didn't even mention this. She used my North Face. She tried stealing my North Face. And then when I confronted her about it, she's like, I have a white North Face. And I was like, at first I thought she was trying to literally steal it. But she ended up giving it back, thankfully. But then, you know, I had to wash that. It was literally, I saw it on the floor amongst her disgusting mess. Literally almost stole my North Face because she apparently also has a white North Face, which maybe she does, but even if she does, she almost stole mine. She would have stolen it if I didn't confront her. She almost stole one of my bags. I didn't even confront her about that. I just went upstairs and took it back downstairs because she took my bag. She probably wasn't planning on giving that back to me. I found like candy of mine, which to be completely honest was expired, so I didn't really care, but like literally just upstairs chilling. I was like, that's cool, that's mine. Like, why is that up here? That's literally mine. It's expired, so you can eat it, but why? She also ate my expired bacon, vegan bacon, but like vegan bacon's expensive, so why are you eating my vegan bacon? That's like $5 a package. So I don't know why she's calling me petty because I told her very clearly that she can't eat my food and she kept eating it. So I don't understand why I'm being petty. Let me know if I'm in the wrong. And then she's just like, trust me, I'm not afraid to get the cops involved because I have the messages. Which I called the cops about this whole situation. Both on my end and her end, there's really nothing the cops could do, which is kind of weird, but like, there's really nothing the cops could do in this situation for either of us. And I'll get to when I called the cops later on in this video, but I just tried explaining again, like, you lived here for 6 days, you kind of have to pay rent. She's like, none of that was mentioned to me. I also mentioned, besides the whole rent thing and using my stuff, that she has to pay utilities for the week because she literally used like a ton of electricity and then like water and Wi-Fi as well. And she did agree to paying for part of the utilities, which that was good because she used a ton of them. Anyway, she ends up not coming back on Friday night, which I didn't expect her to. All those messages were from Friday night. So Saturday morning rolls around. Guess what I just found on the ground? A grape. So something that is poisonous to my dog. It's Saturday morning around 7 a.m. No idea when she's coming back because, well, she didn't spend the night here. She spent the night with, I think, her boyfriend. Who knows? Because I'll explain later. She apparently has more than one boyfriend. But supposedly she's moving out today. She's refusing to move out unless I give her all of her money back for rent. But I think she agreed to pay for the stuff of mine that she's used, and I think she agreed to pay for the utilities she's used, because she's used a ton of my stuff and she's used a ton of utilities. Like, she's left every single light on. Like, she uses way more utilities than I do in like a month. My dog needs to go out because we just woke up. It's like 7 a.m. I'll update you guys if she actually moves out today. Like, she needs to move out today. But my landlord hasn't texted me back about when he can come change the locks. I think he can't come until Monday, so I might need to call off work on Monday because, like, I can't leave my house. Like, literally, from now until my locks are changed, I cannot leave my house. I have a rehearsal tomorrow that I don't think I can go to. I was supposed to meet up with a friend tomorrow that I don't think I can go to. I was supposed to meet up with a friend today, but I'm still going to see them. They're just going to come to my house. I'm like, hey, you can come over. I can't leave. This is a disaster, guys. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. And this is the day where she's supposed to move out. And, you know, I'm just sitting at my computer doing some work, wondering when she's going to show up. I had a friend come over for the day, just mainly because I didn't feel safe in my own house. So I had a friend come over so that I felt somewhat safe in my own house. And by like 10 or 11 o'clock, I was like, when is this girl coming over? Because she's supposed to move out today. And she has to spend like 2 hours cleaning the messes she made, so she needs to, you know, start cleaning. Saturday at 11:17 a.m. I said, when do you plan on moving out? And then I explained all the money stuff, which my ex ended up agreeing to actually pay for the full month of March. I at first didn't think he would, which is why I was freaking out because I was going to end up losing money. But thankfully, he paid me for that. So I told her, like, hey, you don't have to pay rent, which is absurd. She literally lived here for free for 6 days. But I did tell her, like, you have to pay the $15 for the stuff of mine you use, and you have to pay, I did the calculation on the utilities. It was about $30. So I told her about that. And she didn't even respond to that, but she did end up coming over a little bit after I sent that message, because I think it was around noon. And she comes over with a new guy, so let's just call him boyfriend number 3. Comes over with a new guy, and a red car is behind my house, which her car was black. Her, like, new car was black. And so I'm like, wait, so why is your car not here? That's kind of weird. Is he just moving all of your stuff into his car? That's kind of weird. So he comes over, stays over for about an hour. No idea what they did, but after an hour, he leaves. Nothing is cleaned. And then about, I don't know, a little bit after he's gone, he took his car, so she doesn't have a car. So I'm like, how are you planning to move out without a car? I don't get it. But besides that whole issue, at this point I'm more concerned about her cleaning all my stuff. So I went upstairs to tell her, hey, like, you need to start cleaning right now. Like, I was serious, you need to start cleaning. So I go upstairs to tell her that, and guess what she's doing? She's taking another nap. She's literally asleep. She mumbled something when I told her, like, you need to start cleaning. She, again, was not super coherent, kind of half awake. If she didn't start cleaning, like, in the next half hour, I was just gonna go up and tell her again. Like, I didn't really know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to do? Go wake this girl up like I'm her mom and tell her to clean? I don't know. Like, I didn't know what to do. So anyway, a little bit after I told her, hey, you need to start cleaning, she comes downstairs. And it's like, oh, maybe she's coming downstairs to clean. No, she walks out the front door. Mind you, she doesn't have a car, so she leaves on foot, don't know where she's going. Also, she left the door unlocked, just to add to that. That's probably the 10th time she left the door unlocked, so that's wonderful. And this is on the 6th day of her living there. So I was like, maybe she's going to get her car? At least that's what I was hoping. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. I was like, maybe she's going to get her car. Like, a friend's picking her up to take her to go get her car. That's the only thing that makes sense, right? You're supposed to move out, so you go pick up your car. You're not gonna believe the next thing that she said. This was about a half hour later. I texted her, it's actually 3 o'clock exactly. I said, when are you coming back to clean and get your stuff? Meaning, like, you better be coming over soon. Like, I was gonna see what she responded. But her response was, I'm gonna be in the hospital for the next few days, so I wouldn't mind an extra week. I wouldn't mind an extra week. I will say my response to this is a little bit harsh. Mainly, I didn't believe that she was in the hospital, and before I sent this, I called all 3 hospitals in the city I live in. And kind of around the city I live in, there's not really any other hospitals for a while. So if she was genuinely in the hospital, she'd be at one of these 3. Called every single one. She wasn't at any of them. Which I know that you can be in a hospital and they like can't release that information. But to my knowledge, she was not in the hospital. And plus she had lied so much at this point, I figured that she was just lying. Like this sounded like a total lie. And so I know my response is a bit harsh, but I'm like, what happened that you're in the hospital? But I was serious when I said that you need to be out today. Do you want to just pay me $20 an hour to clean all your stuff and put all your stuff in the laundry room, or can your boyfriend come get it? Because it's been a week, it needs to be cleaned today. And then later on, I guess you can see in the messages, I said, should I be feeding your hamster? Oh yeah, did I even mention she has a hamster? As of now, I don't even know where the hamster is. We'll get there. This video is going to be like 4 hours long. Oh my gosh. So I said, should I be feeding your hamster if you're going to be gone for a few days? And then I ended up saying later that night, I went up to check on it and gave it more water, but I don't see any food for it. Plus it's loose in that room and I don't know how I'm even going to manage to catch it. Can you have a friend pick it up in the morning? No response. Just no response. Like I don't get it. As you can see, there was literally no response to any of this. So what ended up happening was, it was me, my sister, and my friend. And I called the cops, so I won't go into too much detail, but basically I told the cops the whole story, and the cop told me that I can take all of her stuff, put it outside, and change my locks if I am concerned for my own safety, which at this point, I've been concerned for my own safety since like Friday. So I've been concerned for my safety for a couple days at this point. And so what we did, my friend changed my locks while I did the dishes, while my sister just took all of her stuff, consolidated it into little bags or like a bunch of different bags, and my sister is bringing it down to the laundry room. I have my lovely friend Sean here helping me change out the locks.
Too sweet.
Yeah, so we're changing my front door and then part of my back door. This is just, I don't even know, this video is actually gonna be 45 minutes long. Basically, I have a door here, and then if you open this, it gets to the laundry room. It's really loud in there because I'm doing laundry because I want to like have my laundry done so I don't have to go in here for a week. That door goes to the outside, so you can lock that and this. Changing the locks on this one so that her stuff can still be in there. It'll still be locked up, but she has the key over there, but she won't have the key to this because we're going to be changing this here pretty soon. I called the cops and they told me, like I explained the whole situation, they told me it would be fine to just like put her stuff outside and change my locks if I'm concerned for my safety, which I am concerned for my safety. So I think this is the best like in the between, like putting her stuff in there, because that way it's still locked but I'm still safe, hopefully. But like she could still slash the tires on my car or something. I have no idea. I took all of my stuff out of the laundry room so that I don't have anything in there that she can steal. This was left on, like plugged in and on, like at one point, and plus it's like basically falling off of this, so my dog could have easily like just done that and the whole thing would have fallen on her and burned her. You can even tell like it burned the sticker. She didn't take the sticker off of it, which why did he even plug that in? I don't know. The plan right now is my friend is changing my locks for me while me and my sister, well, I pretty much have all my stuff out of the laundry room already, but we're gonna go upstairs and it's not gonna be fun. We're gonna take all of her stuff and I'm gonna have to clean all the stuff that she dirtied and literally this took us like an hour and a half for the locks to get changed, all the dishes to get cleaned. I didn't even finish all of the cleaning, but I finished at least most of the cleaning. Sean is still chipping away at fixing the back door, and I'm about ready to do a lot of dishes. This isn't even all of them because she still has a ton of them upstairs just on the ground in her room, but here we go. And then for my sister did a little bit of cleaning, but then also brought all of her stuff from the upstairs into my laundry room. And so what we did, the cop said I could put it outside, but what we did to be nice, my laundry room, so I have a door to get in my laundry room and then a door to get in my house. So we changed the locks on the door to get into my house, but the door to get in my laundry room was still not changed. So she could get into my laundry room to get her stuff, but it could be locked. So it's not like it's just outside for anyone to steal. It's still locked up, but only she can get it, but she can't get into my house. So we figured that was the best plan. It's been 12 minutes and I'm not even close, so I'm gonna stop filming. We were all so tired and so relieved by the end of doing all that. We ended up going to dinner and I bought both of them dinner for helping me out, so that was $62. So that was kind of expensive, but it was totally worth it. Like, they helped me out a ton. By the end of Saturday night, I felt pretty good. I was like, you know what? My locks are changed and all of her stuff is in that room, and if she's really in the hospital, she can come get it when she's out of the hospital. If she's not in the hospital, which I didn't think she was, I thought she was lying, well then I guess she'll have to come get it whenever then. As I mentioned, it's Saturday night at this point and she literally didn't respond, but since my locks were changed, I felt okay going to bed. I didn't feel super threatened or anything. So I go to bed, wake up Sunday morning, and my sister had the idea of trying to contact her parents. Since she did leave her ID upstairs, I just tried Google searching her last name and the address on her ID to see if I could find her parents' phone number. I end up finding her parents' phone number. I call her dad. I try to explain the situation in like 5 minutes, which, as you can probably tell, that was pretty difficult. And he had a very thick accent. He was a little bit hard to understand, so I wasn't even sure he understood exactly what I said. But then he said, let me call you back. I'm gonna try calling her. So I was like, uh-oh, did I just make matters worse? And so I was a little concerned, like until he called me back, I was kind of concerned. Maybe I made matters worse, maybe I shouldn't have called, blah, 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 I don't know. But he said he was gonna try calling her to see if she answered. So about 15, 20 minutes later, I get a call back from that number, but it's not him, it's not the dad, it's actually her sister. And so I was on the phone for 40 minutes, or almost 40 minutes, with the sister. So just to summarize that into a couple sentences, basically, her sister said, I'm sorry 100 times. We found a bunch of lies. Like, I would say something and the sister would be like, I didn't know that, or that's a lie. And then she would say something and I'd be like, well, she told me this. We caught her in tons of lies. She told her parents she was living in the dorms, so they thought she was in the dorms. Just all of this stuff that she was lying about to both of us, so we caught her in a bunch of lies. So then when I told her again, because I told the dad, like, she says she's in the hospital, because I also genuinely wanted to tell them, like, if she was actually in the hospital, I wanted her parents to know. Did I think she was actually in the hospital? No. But if she was, again, I genuinely wanted her parents to know that, hey, your daughter's in the hospital. But yeah, she said stuff like, I know she's my sister, but I'm still careful around her. She changed the locks to her house after her sister dog sat for her over the summer, and apparently when she dog sat, she like totally trashed her house and like didn't even do a good job. So her sister changed her locks after that. Literally, apparently her parents changed their locks on their own kid. That's how bad this girl is. So I kind of wish I would have known that before she moved in with me, that her parents changed the locks to their house because of her. She apparently like called the cops on her parents. She apparently lost her car keys a bunch, which, speaking of the car, remember in part 1 of this, I talk about how like she told me her parents' car was in the shop, but she technically couldn't have it anymore because it's not hers and it's her parents and they're not on good terms. So that was apparently a white Toyota. So when her sister was talking to me, she was like, oh, so have you seen the white Toyota? And I was like, no, she bought a black car on Tuesday. And her sister was like freaking out, like her dad was freaking out. They're like, where is the white Toyota? Like, to this day, I still think they haven't found where their car is. They have no idea what happened to their car, where their car is, if it was totaled, if she sold it to someone. Like, they have no idea what happened to their car. So they were, rightfully so, kind of freaking out about that. They have no idea where their car is. Long story short, my house is not the only house that she has trashed. My house is not the only one that I've had to change locks in order to protect myself. So I was very glad I got in contact with her sister. Her sister said that she would drive down and pick up her stuff, but she was scared that she would call the cops on her sister. So she told me, she was like, listen, if her stuff is still there by the end of this week, I'll drive down and get it. And I did ask, I was like, you know, she says she's in the hospital, but it sounds like to me that she's lying. And then her sister was like, yeah, no, I don't think she's in the hospital. I totally agree with you. I think she's lying. Turns out, at the end of, this is Sunday at this point. By the end of Sunday, so this is like Sunday night, apparently they found out from one of her friends. I don't know how they got in contact with one of her friends, because they were asking me if I could give them anyone to contact about her, and I was like, no, like, She literally lived here for 6 days. That was about the extent of it. We didn't really talk much, other than me telling her to clean her messes. Apparently they did get in contact with one of her friends, and apparently she actually was in the hospital. So she was in the psych ward at one of the hospitals, which that makes sense because with people in the psych wards, I think they like literally give zero information about that. So even if I were to call and say, is so-and-so in the hospital, they would tell me no, because they can't give information about that part of the hospital. So that makes sense why they didn't tell me on Saturday that she was there. I didn't know that, her sister didn't know that, her family didn't know that, until they found the friend who told them. Since their daughter was in the hospital, her parents decided to drive down here, and she lives about 3 hours. Like, her parents live about 3 hours from where I live, so they drove down 3 hours to come see their daughter in the hospital. And her sister told me that, and she basically made it sound like they might pick up her stuff or they might not. It was all confusing. But they ended up calling me at midnight, which my phone's on silent, so I didn't pick up. Like, I didn't even hear it ring because it was on silent. They called me past midnight to come pick up her stuff. I was like, you really think I'm gonna pick up my phone at 12:15 in the morning on a school night when I'm a teacher and have you come pick up this girl's stuff? I called the next morning and I basically told the dad, like, I'm a teacher, so I won't get home until around 4. And he made it seem like they weren't gonna wait around until then. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, all of her stuff is in my house and you're not gonna come pick it up? Like, so I was like, whatever, at this point I don't even care. But long story short, she ended up telling me she was gonna have friends come pick it up around 6 or 7 o'clock. So I was like, cool, that works. But then her parents called me on my way home from school. They called me around 3:30 and I said, hey, I'll be home in like 10 minutes. Like, can you come now? And the mom said, yeah, I can come now. So I was like, awesome, this works perfectly. Because I had to go to my second job on Mondays. So I was like, if she comes right now, there'll be enough time to get all of her stuff out and I can go to my second job on time. It'll all work out perfect. So that's what happened. Her mom came over. Her mom was super nice, super friendly. She apologized a bunch, just like the sister apologized a bunch to me. Like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'm so sorry my daughter did this. I had her take all of her stuff into her car. The hamster that I mentioned, I basically told the mom, it's loose in this room somewhere and I don't know where it is. And we both looked for it for like a solid 15-20 minutes and neither of us could find it. So we have no idea where the hamster is. Actually, I left some food up for it this morning, so I'm gonna go check to see if any of the food is eaten. So bad news, I think the hamster's dead because I put food and water up there this morning and it doesn't look like it's eating or drinking. Because that's the conclusion me and the mom came to. We're like, well, there's like kind of little holes in the closet, so we think that it escaped through one of the holes, got in the house, and my dog saw it and ate it. So, I don't know. I hate to say it, but I think my dog ate the hamster. So that's great. And if my dog didn't eat the hamster, that means it's somewhere in the walls and the ceiling. I don't even know. I have no idea where this hamster is. But the bad news is the food is still up there. So I think if it would have had access to that room, it would have eaten some food by now. So anyway, the mom gets all the stuff except for the hamster just because we literally could not find it anywhere. She left the cage of the hamster up there just in case I do find it. But at this point, if it didn't eat food today, I don't think it's still alive. Finally, all her stuff is out of my house. The mom packs it all up and leaves. And then the story's pretty much over at this point. I mean, not entirely, because this girl's still in the hospital and I don't even know if anything's gonna happen next. Maybe there'll be a part 3 to this series, I don't know. The only other thing that happened at this point is about 30 minutes after the mom left, she called me again, and her and the dad were just like, wait, you said that her friends were coming over around 6 o'clock to pick up her stuff? And I was like, well, yeah. And they were like, can you confirm that? And I was confused. And so basically what they wanted was they wanted me to set up her friends to come pick up the stuff, even though her parents already picked up the stuff. Apparently they didn't tell her that they picked up her stuff, which I was like, how aren't you in the hospital with her? How do you not know your mom's going to pick up your stuff? So I was kind of confused, but long story short, they wanted me to set up her friends to meet at my house at 6 and they were gonna meet there so that they could meet her friends because they wanted to ask them questions, mainly about their car because, again, they have no clue where their nice car is. They're the white Toyota. So I was like, sure, I can ask her if they're still coming at 6. So I asked her if they were still coming at 6, just because the parents wanted to meet them and figure out if they had any idea if they knew where the Toyota was. But when I asked her if they were coming at 6, she ended up saying, oh, I'm actually going to be in the hospital a few more days, so they're not coming. Which didn't make sense because she originally told me they were coming without her. So I don't know if she was onto her parents' like plan or what, but she ended up saying no, they're not coming. So the parents were kind of disappointed because they really wanted to meet them just to try to see where their Toyota is or was, or to this day I don't think they know where it is, so that sucks. They literally lost like a super expensive car. You're gonna play. So Kaya started playing with the toy, of course, while I'm filming. But the only thing I have left to add is about the money, because this girl was still refusing to pay rent, which at this point I already figured that out with my ex, so that's fine. But at this point I've spent, you know, almost 3 hours cleaning the house if you combine me and my sister together. I'm sorry, my dog literally won't stop squeaking. But long story short, I explained the whole situation to her mom, because this girl was refusing to pay for the cleaning and all that. Kaya, stop! Explained the whole situation to her mom and about how she used a bunch of my food, a bunch of my stuff, the utilities, and plus just the whole fact of I had to clean for 3 hours. Thankfully, her mom and I came to an agreement that deducting $100 would be appropriate, which I think that was appropriate, and her mom thought it was appropriate, so I was like, cool. I'm totally fine with that. And so instead of giving her $350 back, I was gonna give her $250 back. And then the mom was saying I could just pay her, which I was like, awesome, like even better. And so I ended up just writing a check. I actually wrote the check out to Zoe, but I gave it to her mom because her mom just said she'd deposit it into her bank account. So I was like, awesome. Gave her the money back, got some deducted for all the stuff I had to do and all the stuff of mine she used, and all of her stuff is finally out of my house. And that is the end of the story. And if anything else happens, I will let you know. But as of now, my locks are changed. I don't owe her any money. None of her stuff is here except for the hamster cage and possibly the hamster, but I think Kaya ate it. I don't know what Kaya's doing right now. So that is the end of the horror roommate story. Again, if you didn't watch part 1, you should go back and watch that too. That has more like footage, whoa, as well as some text message stuff. But thank you for watching. Hopefully I never have a video like this again. If I do, help. But yeah, I really hope I never have to make another horror roommate story. This has made me realize that I should just live by myself instead of going with a random roommate, because I never want to go through this again. That was the worst week of my life. Thank you for watching. I don't know what Kaya's doing. She literally never plays with toys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video, which will be about vegan stuff. So if you're vegan, you should subscribe and check it out. Kaya says that you should like this video just because of all the pain I suffered through the week and the pain she suffered. She almost got killed 4 times. Since my dog almost got killed, I think you should like this video since she's still alive. Isn't that right, Kaya? Oh, I think she agrees. You need to like this video.